We are going to be starting a new module. So to get ready for that, we want to review a few concepts. So first, we are going to go over evaluating expressions with variables, which we have been learning about in Module 8. And then we're also going to go all the way back to the very beginning of the year and make sure that we can identify points on a number line. So integers, positive, and their opposites, the negative side. So let's start and try evaluating these expressions. So remember, when we are evaluating, we're trying to find that value here. So we have 13.7 minus n when n equals 5. So I want you to go ahead and set that problem up how you think it would look. So here we have 13.7. So we have a 1 in the tens place, 3 ones, and then 7 tenths. This 5 over here for n is 5 wholes, the decimals at the end of it. And when we're adding and subtracting, we need to make sure we line those decimals up. So it's actually going to look like this. If we put that 5 under the 7, that turns it into 50 cents when we really have $5. So 7 minus 0 is 7. 3 minus 5 we can't do, so we borrow. And 13 minus 5 is 8, and our decimal comes straight down. So 13.7 minus n, when n is 5, is 8.7. Okay, our next one asks us to add 3 and a fourth plus v, and v equals 1.5. So when we put these problems together, oh, this is 1 and a fourth, and this is 1.5. So we can't add when we don't have common denominators. We can't put fourths and halves together until they're cut into the same amount of pieces. So we need to find a common denominator. So what factor or what multiple can you think of that 2 and 4 can go into? So they both go into 4. So I'm going to make the new denominator 4. So this one stays the same. So we need to make an equivalent fraction here. So how do we get from 2 to 4? Times by 2. So we need to do the same thing on the top. 1 times 2. So we have 2/4 and 1/4. So when we add those together, 1 plus 2, we now have 3 pieces out of 4. And 3 plus 1 is 4. So 3 and 1/4 plus v, when v is 1.5, equals 3 and 3/4. Okay, let's go try this next one. So we have 5 x's. So our variable is x. The coefficient is 5. So 5 times x, x equals 0.34, 34 hundredths. So I'm going to put 34 hundredths on the top just because it has more, it's not bigger than 5, but it has more numbers in it. And I'm going to put 5 on the bottom. So I want you to go ahead and multiply that and see what answer you get, and then come back and check. So 5 times 4 is 20. Here's 15, 16, 17. With 1, 2 decimal places, 1, 2. So 5 times 0.34 is 1.7, 1 and 7 tenths, or 70 hundredths. So there's still 0 in the hundredths place, either way. Okay, and our last one of these evaluating problems says that we have 1,498. We want to divide by g when g equals 14. So we're plugging in the 14 for g. So we have 1,498 dividing by 14. So it can't go into 1. So think, how many times can it go into 14? So that's 1 time. 1 times 14 is 14. So we have nothing left over. So we're bringing down our 9. So I want you to see if you can figure out what is going to go above that 9. So 14 cannot go into 9. So we need to put a 0 up here. every time something goes down, something has to go up. We can't just bring down another number till we've put something up. So 0 times 14 is 0. So we're still left with 9. And now we can bring down that 8. So 14 goes into 98. Let's see. I'm going to try 7 and see where that gets me. So I know it's got to be a bigger number. So 140 times 10, or 14 times 10 is 140. So it's a little more than halfway there. So halfway would be 70. So it's more than half. So 4 times 7 is 28. A 7 times 1 is 7, 8, 9. Oh, perfect. It goes in there 7 times. So this equals 107 when we plug these numbers in. So make sure when it tells you what the value is that you actually go and substitute the value in. Hey, and the other thing we're going to be discussing is integers and putting them on number lines. So we're going to place a dot and label each one on this number line. So remember, always to the right is our positives, always to the left is our negatives. That is true every single time. So we have -7. So we always want to start at our origin of 0. So -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to place that dot and label it -7. So here, remember, when we don't have any sign in front of it, that means it's positive. So starting at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, I want you to see if you can find -3.5 or -3.5 on that number line. So we need to go toward the negative side, starting from 0. So there's 1 holes, 2 holes, 3. And a half will be right in between -3 and 4. So -3.5 here. Hey, go ahead and see if you can find where 4.5, 4.5 would be. So here we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a half. So always make sure to add in those halves or decimals or fractions when they're there. Hey, see if you can find -2 on this. So we're going backwards, 1, 2, so to the left, -2, and then 9. So I can see that 10 is labeled here, so 1 back is 9. So go ahead and complete your Module 9. Are you ready? And if you need any help, please let me know.